me tell you the story of the men of Darlington and the Southern 500, biggest race that can be won. Racing for big money, but that's not the biggest thing. It's the glory when you finish first, drive to the winner's ring. 41 of the fastest cars raring to go, 41 of the toughest drivers you will ever know. 80,000 fans have jammed the infield and the stands. Each one is wishing he could lend a helping hand. For men and for their stock cars, there is no tougher test. And to win this race is proof enough you're one of the best. Each driver will be fighting every inch of the way, 'cause the man who wins this race will win his fortune today. Watch each man and watch each car and listen to their story. They want the winner's circle, the money and the glory. Right now they're in the pace lap, the practice laps are done. Now on with stock car racing and the man of Darlington.
Attention in the pits. The track is now open for practice.
A week before the race, the practice laps begin. You try to gain a second, it might be enough to win. You take it kind of easy as you hit the first turn, 'cause every year this track has something new for you to learn. You make the second turn and head full speed down the track, and when you reach the third turn, you gotta hold her back. The third turn is the tricky one. It makes the driving tough, but the men out there will tell you they never get enough. It takes about 10 seconds to make turns 3 and 4. 10 seconds on a tightrope, then the throttle to the floor. You make that lap in 40, and that's pretty darn good time, but let's just see if you can't make the next in 39. Hour after hour, you work right to the last. You work to make her steady, boy, you work to make her fast.
The first enemy is time. Later, there will be 40 cars to beat, but now, beat the clock. 1 second faster per lap is almost 3 miles an hour. Other drivers watch, wondering how fast they must go to beat you. Run the car as fast as she'll go, then back to the pits. Make it go faster. Here you see what you're up against. 40 of the toughest drivers, smartest mechanics, and fastest equipment in the racing business. Some drivers, like national champion Joe Weatherly, can tell his mechanic Bud Moore what he wants. Some, like Junior Johnson, say almost nothing, but they'll race anybody till the wheels fall off. Some, like Dave Pearson, work together with their mechanic, checking and approving the adjustments. Some, like Fred Lorenzen, are mechanics in their own right, but no matter how hard they work, there's always someone out there running faster. Then, as the mechanics race against time to get the cars ready, qualifications begin. Fastest cars on the first qualifying day will lead the field at the start of the race. This battle to be fastest draws a record crowd. It's a 4-lap run to the checkered flag. The cars are so closely matched that only the electric eye can sort them out, but the fans know who the hot ones are. The first driver to bring the crowd to its feet is Junior Johnson, wheeling Chevy number 3. Johnson's first lap, a record-smashing 133.5 miles an hour, breaking Fred Lorenzen's old record. To Fred, waiting in the pits, this is not defeat, but a challenge. Johnson roars through the 4-lap run at a record speed of 133.4 miles an hour. Now, it's Lorenzen's turn. His Ford eases into a warm-up lap, and here he comes. One lap, 133.9 miles an hour. The first time a lap has been run on the Darlington Raceway in less than 37 seconds. Lorenzen's 4-lap average speed is 133.6 miles an hour, a heartbeat faster than Johnson's Chevrolet. An electric tension races through the garage area as car after car qualifies at 130 miles an hour or better. They work for hours to gain half a second. The work is lonely, frantic, dirty. While you gain a mile an hour, somebody else gains 2. There's no time to eat, and they see the sun as often as coal miners. But it's harder than mining coal, for it's not your life that's on the line, but a friend's. Then, one day too late to qualify for the front row, Fireball Roberts is ready to run. Roberts has written the record book on this track almost single-handed. 5 times fastest qualifier, winner of the Rebel 300 twice, winner of the Southern 500 once. Roberts has won more big Grand National races than the next 2 drivers together. Fireball warms up his Ford, then cranks one on. Rival mechanic Bud Moore stops the watch on the fastest official lap in Darlington's 14-year history, 134 miles an hour. The run breaks all qualification records. Roberts' average speed is 133.8 miles an hour. By 7/100ths of a second, the fastest qualifier of them all. This run by Roberts puts all the rest back to where they started a week ago. A split second too slow. Better grab some sleep. We'll be working again tonight. No, it's not a mechanic's nightmare about Fireball. It's the big parade in Darlington. When qualifications are over, they lock up the cars and unlock the town. Although the race is still 2 days off, Mardi Gras excitement grips the quiet South Carolina countryside. In the twinkling of an eye, businessmen turn into clowns, and the girl next door suddenly becomes a beauty queen. Well, it's a little more complicated than that. These are some of the contestants in Carolina's grandest beauty pageant. A few hours from now, these girls and others who have won beauty titles all over South Carolina will gather at the raceway to be judged in a contest to select Miss Southern 500. The judging takes place on the main straightaway at the racetrack. Among the judges, Clint Eastwood, TV star, and visiting beauty queens. There's some unofficial judging by Mr. Fred Lorenzen. Fred's 29 years old, a bachelor, and he's won more than $90,000 this year. If some of the girls smile back, it's no wonder. Bob Calvin, president of the track, is on hand to help out a friend. Boo-hoo, says Bob. It makes an old man cry. The suspense grows as the field is narrowed, first to a dozen, then to 5. Finally, all the girls return to the stage as the judge's announcement is made. Miss Nancy Sanders of Chester, South Carolina, is the new Miss Southern 500. She receives her royal crown from Joyce Brown, retiring queen, the first of more than a score of awards that go to the winner. George Brain of the Pure Oil Company presents one of the gifts, a mink stole. Finally, from Clint Eastwood, roses and a kiss. It's been quite a day for Nancy Sanders. Exciting, frightening, victorious. Miss Southern 500. Because of automobiles, just about everything in America is portable, including cities. From above, the infield is an amazing sight. This is Darlington's tent city, built in 24 hours and designed to fold again before sundown. The fans began to pour into the infield a full day before the race, and it wasn't long before an all-night celebration began. It must have been a real party. Suddenly, it's 11 o'clock, Labor Day. 41 drivers have their work cut out for them. Fireball Roberts, fastest qualifier, starts ninth. He's raced in all 14 Southern 500s. Jim Pascal is another 14-year veteran. He's raced 5,000 miles on this track. But waiting is harder than racing. Buck Baker, the old pro, is the only other veteran of 14 Southern 500s. Tiny Lund, a 260-pound leadfoot, waits. Nelson Stacy drove a tank in combat. Nothing rattles him. Joe Weatherly, national champion. He's won more races than you can count. Junior Johnson, he drives with a simple strategy, flat out, as far and as fast as she'll go. Fred Lorenzen, he wants to be the first driver to win $100,000 in 1 year. The pace car leads the way on a warm-up lap. The fastest field in Darlington history moves out to test the track and be tested. There are 7 makes of cars running here: Ford, Chevrolet, Mercury, Plymouth, Dodge, and Chrysler. Ford with 17 is the most popular entry. The next time they head into the first turn, they'll be flat out inches apart. One mistake by anybody, and there could be a lot of bent metal on this track.
You take it kind of easy as you hit the first turn.
Through turn 1, heading for turn 2 and the backstretch.
You make the second turn and head full speed down the track.
On the backstretch, the thunder of engines is drowned out by the cheering of some 80,000 fans, the largest crowd ever gathered at this famous 1 3/8 track. This track is a terror for mechanics. High-banked first and second turns, a fast backstretch, then turns 3 and 4 that are almost flat. The fastest way through these turns is high up, inches away from the fence. At high speeds, many cars will actually scrape the steel barrier.
The third turn is the tricky one. It makes the driving tough.
They're ready for the green flag.
It takes about 10 seconds to make turns 3 and 4. 10 seconds on a tightrope, then the throttle to the floor.
They're racing. Fred Lorenzen jumps to the lead. Junior Johnson rides his fender as they roar into the first turn. Safely through turn 1, strung out now in the fast groove high on the track. Lorenzen holds the lead as they hit the backstretch. Lorenzen's Ford sets a record-shattering pace for lap 1, but Johnson isn't impressed. He swings wide coming off the 4th turn. Johnson Chevrolet leads. Lorenzen's first lap was more than 130 miles an hour, but here come the challengers. Marvin Panch's Ford number 21, traveling at fantastic speed, takes 3rd place. Hanging back in 8th position, Fireball Roberts, number 22. Ed Livingston bashes the fence and slides across the track, out of the way of faster cars. There's no danger and no caution flag. The race goes on at record speed. Panch takes 2nd place, catching Fred Lorenzen, then sets his sight on the front runner, Junior Johnson. At the end of 25 miles, Panch is 5 miles an hour faster than last year's record, but he's still 2nd. While the fans are glued to the tremendous battle for first place, Fireball Roberts has slowly moved through the field and is now running fourth. He's turning laps in 37 seconds flat, 133.5 miles an hour. Fireball takes Lorenzen. Roberts is third now. 3 cars spin on the backstretch. Billy Wade, a rookie, ends up against the backstretch wall. Bob James in car 42 loses a wheel and steers for the infield. That tire is enough to throw another car out of control. Ned Jarrett, trying to avoid trouble, bounces off the guardrail. Like the others, Jarrett steers his car away from the fence and limps around to the pits by way of the track apron. Again, no caution flag, no slowdown, no let-up in the record-breaking pace. In the pits, Jarrett's crew learns how solid that guardrail is. Jarrett's Ford will run again, but the former national champion hasn't got a hope of finishing among the leaders. 100 miles down, 400 to go, and regular pit stops begin. Junior Johnson roars down the pit road at 90 miles an hour, his crew frantically slowing him down, afraid that sharp stones or bits of metal will blow his tires. Johnson, like the others, hopes to run this race with 4 pit stops. The crew can refuel and change 2 tires in less than half a minute, but half a minute is almost a full lap, and nobody can spare that kind of time. The cars and the men are wilting in the heat of competition. Richard Petty's Plymouth is sidelined with carburetor trouble. Richard and his dad, Lee Petty, work furiously to get back into the race, but once the hood is up on a car, there's almost no chance to win. Fireball Roberts eases his Ford into the pits. The crew jump on a car that's run 100 miles in 44 minutes. Although Roberts' speed is more than 130 miles an hour, he's never been better than third position. But there's a long race ahead, and Fireball, who won 5 years ago, knows the showdown may be miles away. With the first pit stops behind them, the men and cars settle down to a long afternoon of speed.
How long is 500 miles? 500 heartaches and 500 trials. It's New York to Toronto, Des Moines to Green Bay, Springfield to Dodge in half of a day, New Orleans to Dallas between 8 and noon, Chicago to Omaha in one afternoon, from Denver to Salt Lake City, they say, from here to eternity, the Darlington way. My tires are thin, and I sure need a rest, but I'm out here to show 'em I'm one of the best. How long is 500 miles? 500 heartaches and 500 trials. I'll never quit till this race is run, but it seems like forever since lap number 1.
At the halfway point, 250 miles, all existing track records have been broken. With no accidents or caution flags to slow the front runners, the fierce competition has forced lap speeds higher and higher. Marvin Panch has the lead, but 3 other cars trail by a few seconds. Suddenly, one of these, Fred Lorenzen, makes an unscheduled pit stop. One wheel is out of balance. 25 seconds later, Lorenzen is back in the race, but this stop puts him a lap behind the leaders. Johnson's Chevy and Roberts' Ford are battling for second place. Johnson has been driving the only way he knows, hard, and his mechanic, Ray Fox, is worried. Roberts has paced himself during the first 300 miles and taken advantage of fast pit stops. But Johnson has been running hard since the first lap. Suddenly, there's a signal from Johnson that he's coming in. His crew is ready. As Fireball Roberts roars down the straightaway, Johnson makes an unscheduled pit stop. The hood is up on Junior Chevy. A cracked cylinder has overheated the engine. Johnson, the poultry farmer from Ronda, North Carolina, has overcooked this bird. Junior Chevy, after running 134-mile-an-hour laps, is out of the race. Ray Fox, Junior's mechanic, has nothing to worry about anymore. But Marvin Patch does. Fireball Roberts is running him down.
Pancho has the lead, and he's got winning on his mind. Pancho's car is flying, but Fireball's close behind. Many years and many miles have gone before this race, and all the skill that each has learned will go into this chase. This is the 14th time they run this race at Darlington. 4,000 miles on this track, each one of them has run. Fireball was the winner in 1958. Will he win it now? Has he made his bid too late? In stock car racing, everybody knows the Fireball name. A win today for Pancho, would shoot him into fame. But fame is not the only thing that's on this driver's mind. There's $20,000 waiting at the finish line. The throttle to the floor, and then it's, come on, car, let's go. Each man is straining every nerve to make a final show. Fireball was in 9th place when the race began, but slowly he's moved up until he's caught the lead man. Fireball played a waiting game since early in the day, passing some while others had to drop out on the way. Lorenzen had to make an extra stop and he was through. And then all of a sudden, Junior Johnson's engine blew. And now Fireball's tired of waiting, and he's gonna make his play. But Pancho's #1, and that's where he intends to stay. Fireball says he wants first place and won't take nothing less. And now he passes Pancho in the Fireball Express.
400 miles away from the starting line, Fireball Roberts takes the lead. For the first time this afternoon, car 22 has its number up in lights in first place. Roberts, with 100 miles to go, keeps his foot on the throttle, but Marvin Panch is out of the high groove, slowing his car. Panch is heading for the pits, and he's having trouble trying to slow down. He's trying to coast to a stop, cutting his wheels from side to side. Hydraulic line failure has left Panch without brakes. As Panch crawls into the pits at 5 miles an hour, Roberts is running wide open. With Panch in the pits, Fred Lorenzen takes second place, riding hard and fast on the comeback trail. Lorenzen's extra stop threw him a full lap behind the leaders, but Fred has been running 134 miles an hour, breaking all track records in an all-out bid to win. Roberts' crew knows that Lorenzen must make one more stop. He doesn't have the fuel to go the distance. Roberts is told to slow down. The tread is worn on his right front tire, and he's still got 40 laps to run. Lorenzen takes first place, but his crew warn him that a pit stop is coming up. Lorenzen gets the bad news and roars into the pits to take on fuel and tires. As Freddie stops, Fireball Roberts goes back into first place. The time it takes to drink that cup of water is worth $10,000. Roberts, the leader, is 20 seconds ahead of Marvin Panch. His average speed 12 miles an hour faster than the track record. Panch is racing down to the checkered flag. As long as there's no traffic, he's all right. But he can't hold power into the turns to pass other cars. Glenn Wood, his mechanic, watches helplessly. Lorenzen keeps the pressure on Roberts, although a lap behind with time running out. Roberts, his tires threadbare and his fuel almost gone, moves out of the way as Lorenzen gets back in the same lap. There's the white flag, 1 lap to go. Roberts rounds the track for the last time as the crowd comes to its feet, watching racing history as it is made. There's the checkered flag. Fireball Roberts, driving Ford number 22, wins the 14th Southern 500 in record time. 500 miles in 3 hours, 51 minutes. It will take another 500-mile race without a caution flag to top this amazing speed. Marvin Panch finishes second, a brave and brilliant race behind him. It just wasn't our day, he said. With a little luck, we could have won. Roberts rolls his Ford to the winner's circle. Roberts is tired, battered, but a winner.
With all that I had in me, I fought to win this race. And I fought until I won it. Now I'll take the winner's place. I was running on thin air. My tires were almost gone. My gas was running low, but something told me to hang on. I knew that it was touch and go right to the finish line. But my car and me, we made it, and the victory is mine. 500 miles are over, and the victory is mine. My pit crew and the cheering fans helped drive me to the line. Bring on the pretty girls, take all the pictures that you want. Let the world know when this race was done, I was the man up front. On the toughest track in racing, in the toughest race I've won. I've won against the very best, the men of Darlington. I've won against the very best, the men of Darlington.
Sharing Fireball's glory, his mechanic, Jack Sullivan. Robert's purse is more than $22,000, another Darlington record. With this victory, Roberts boosts his year's winnings to $60,000. Lorenzen, finishing third, increased his year's earnings beyond the $100,000 mark. Roberts' speed at 129 miles an hour is almost 12 miles an hour faster than the record set a year ago by Larry Frank. The first enemy is time. Then there were 40 other cars to... Roberts has beaten them all on the track that started big-time stock car racing.
On the toughest track in racing, in the toughest race I've won. I've won against the very best, the men of Darlington.